So this guy, he's gonna get wrongly convicted, become a millionaire, and then get into a fight with a pro wrestler. Now the guy, his name's Chris, and Chris is 20 years old and he just wants to live his life to the fullest. So he goes to a party one night out by the river with a bunch of his friends, including this girl, Angie. Now unfortunately, the next morning after that party, Angie is found unalived in her apartment. And then 6 months later, bam, police bring in Chris for questioning, since he was at the same party with her the night before. So they question Chris, and they ask him if he was involved in the murder. And Chris is like, no, but police don't believe him, and they take a DNA sample from him. Then, after a few more interviews, police still believe that Chris had something to do with Angie's murder. So they get a warrant, and they arrest him, and they bring him in, and they grill him for hours. And they're threatening him with prison time, and they're telling him that they have evidence against him, even though they don't, because by now the DNA results have come back, and the DNA of the killer is not a match with Chris's DNA. Oh, but that doesn't seem to matter, because police are still convinced that he is guilty. And poor Chris, at this point, he doesn't know what to do. He knows he didn't unalive anyone, but police won't let it go. And they interrogate him for a total of 28 hours over multiple sessions. And ultimately, they offer him immunity if he confesses to being involved in the murder. So Chris, with no other option, he confesses, thinking he'll get immunity and that police will finally leave him alone. Well, guess what? Police don't leave him alone. In fact, they straight up void his immunity agreement and they charge him with first-degree murder. So Chris goes to trial, and the only real evidence they have against him is the confession he was tricked into giving. So kaboom, he gets convicted and he's sentenced to life in prison. And yeah, this sucks for Chris because prison is hard for him. And so he files appeal after appeal, but his appeals just keep getting rejected one after another. And more than 10 years go by, and he's still there in prison, miserable, suffering in a cell. And he wants nothing more than to get out so that he can finally live his life to the fullest. But then, one day, something crazy happens. A non-profit learns about his case, and they get involved. They're called the Innocence Project, and they help people who they feel were wrongly convicted.